The third door. They told Eleanor the house only had 2 doors, but on her second night, she woke to the sound of the third one closing. Eleanor Kay wasn't fleeing her life, just putting it on pause. After her divorce and a panic attack that left her hyperventilating in a grocery store aisle, she booked a month-long retreat in the Scottish Highlands, far from London noise and pitying friends. The Airbnb listing called it Doll's Lantern Cottage. It looked charming enough in the pictures. Weathered stone walls, a red clay chimney, and endless moors stretching into gray mist. The host, a woman named Mrs. Dunley, met her with a stiff smile and a ring of old iron keys. "There's the front and the back," she said, pointing to the doors. "Lock them both. The wind's a thief here." She didn't laugh at her own joke. Neither did Eleanor. Inside, the air smelled of rosemary, ash, and something sweetly rotten beneath the floorboards. A cuckoo clock chimed once as Eleanor passed it. Odd, it was 3:47, not on the hour. Still, she unpacked, lit a fire, and settled into the cottage's eerie calm. The first night was stormy. Eleanor, half drowsing with a book in bed, jolted upright when she heard the front door rattle. She checked, still locked. The back? Same. Then she noticed it, a faint draft from the wall near the kitchen. Cold air whispered past her cheek, like someone exhaling slowly. The second night, it happened again. Only this time, she heard a click, as though a latch had gently settled. When she turned on the lights and scanned the cottage, she noticed something off. The wall near the pantry looked deeper, like shadows falling into a place that shouldn't exist. She tapped it, hollow. Later, scrolling through reviews of the cottage online, she found something strange. All positive, yes, but several said things like, "Only weird thing, my dog wouldn't go near the pantry." Felt like I was being watched, especially late at night. Lovely isolation, though I kept hearing voices. Eleanor closed the app. The cuckoo clock ticked loudly beside her. The third night, she brought a flashlight, stood by the wall, and waited. 2:41 a.m. A gentle click, and then a seam appeared in the stonework, like the wall was breathing open. She pressed it. A panel slid back with a soft hiss. Behind it, a narrow, dark corridor descending into earth. The smell hit her. Mold, iron, something old and sick. Against all better judgment, Eleanor entered. The passage was cramped, lined with faded wallpaper that peeled like dead skin. At the end of the corridor was a door, the third door. She tried the handle. It opened with shocking ease. Inside was a tiny room, dust-covered chairs, a broken lamp, a child's rocking horse, splintered and red-stained at the neck, and photographs. Dozens of them, hung crookedly on the walls. Each photo showed the same thing: a woman sleeping in this very cottage. Different women. One looked like Eleanor. She staggered back. A faint voice behind her whispered, "You're the next." Eleanor ran, but the corridor behind her had changed. The door she entered through was gone. Instead, stone walls pressed in, closing like jaws. She turned, ran back into the room of photos, but it too was different now. There was someone inside, a girl, 7 or 8 years old, pale, wearing a nightgown stained at the hem. "You shouldn't be here," the girl whispered. "He wakes when the third door opens." "Who?" Eleanor asked. "The landlord. He's dead. Mrs. Dunley rents it now." The girl shook her head, stepping back into the shadows. "She feeds him." The rocking horse began to rock, slowly, on its own. Eleanor screamed and turned, pounding her fists against the walls. until they split open again, revealing the kitchen. Morning light was pouring in. She tumbled out and lay gasping on the cottage floor. Everything looked normal. The photos gone, the corridor sealed, the wall solid. Was it a dream? But her clothes were dirty with dust, and on her wrist, she confronted Mrs. Dunley when she returned later that day to deliver fresh bread. "I found the third door," Eleanor said. The old woman froze. Then she sighed. "You weren't meant to. Most don't. But the ones who do." She set down the bread carefully. "The house likes some people more than others. It calls them." "Who's the landlord?" "My husband. He built this place during the famine. Found a way to stay alive, even after death." "You mean he's what? A ghost, Mrs. Dunley?" Dunley's face tightened. "Not a ghost, a guest that never left. He feeds on fear mostly, but lately he's hungry for something warmer." She stepped toward Eleanor. "Leave tonight, before sundown. If you stay, the house will keep you." Eleanor drove off that evening without looking back. But weeks later, scrolling a travel forum, she saw a new listing. Doll's Lantern Cottage, newly available. Perfect for solo retreats. Remote, quiet, just 2 doors. She clicked on the host's name. It wasn't Mrs. Dunley. It was Eleanor Kay, and she didn't remember listing it.